Welcome to the Real Estate Baller Show. If you ever like any of the video we posted, if you like this channel, can you do me a favor and hit that subscribe button? It helps us more than you know. And the bigger this channel gets, the more people we can help achieve financial freedom. Thank you and enjoy the episode. And I get the lead. And now all I have to worry about is how do I get in the living room and figure out a solution for that seller. If I can provide a solution to them and make money along the way, it's a win-win for both of us. So I have one less thing to worry about. So a deal today, still similar. However, today the market has changed. It is way more competitive. We no longer the only person show up in the living room like we were, years ago. Right now, when you show up to someone's living room, they probably had, someone come before you, someone come after you. So most likely you're competing with other people. So you really have to get really good at talking to the seller and guiding them through the process.
Not only that, but I've noticed that there are more wholesalers out there posing as cash buyers. And what I've noticed is there's so many offers that are getting made that are higher than makes sense on the property. And I've had a hard time educating sellers on and letting them know, this is not a real offer. This is not going to close. They're going to change the price before closing, or, they're just trying to get the property under contract to get in here and do an inspection. And I have not had a lot of success educating sellers. Have you been successful in that?
A little bit, I would say. The deal we just closed on, seller had multiple offers as well. So what we've done differently now is we always assume that there are going to be multiple offers. So we try to dig a little deeper, hey, if you decide to sell to me, or if you decide you don't want to sell to me, who would you consider and why? So we want to have that conversation up front. And if it's the money, right? Then, okay, well, let's talk about the money. If this house is worth X. So I walked through this example with another seller the other day. He said he got an offer for $210. The ARV was $230, actually $255. This house gonna need at least $35. He got an offer for $220. I said, do you think they're not ever gonna close? After we did the math, he said no. You see? So you gotta just talk real numbers sometime to the seller and discover the problem before it become a problem.
So you sat down with the seller and you let them know what the house is worth if it's rehab. You gave the seller real numbers and you said, here's what they want to pay. When we add the cost to rehab the property in, do you think that they're going to make money on this? And they say no. And they say that, then you say, do you think this is a real offer? Is this offer going to close? Are they ever going to pay you? And then the seller comes to the realization on their own that this is not a real offer.
They have to come to their own decision, right? So it so happened that there was a house with exact same floor plan sold in that neighborhood for $255, right? So I pulled it up. I showed it to him and he was like, oh yeah, it's the same house, right? Okay. I say, you think is it fair to say that your house would sell for $255? Maybe you're lucky you sell it for $260, or maybe you're not and you sell it for $250. But it's fair, can we assume this? And would you agree that it's gonna take this much to get your house to that condition? Okay, so now we end here. How can someone pay you $220? They can't,
Right.
So then I said, well, here is our cash offer. I mean, I was at the 120 range. Now I didn't get this deal. But at least he now know, right? He said, I gotta have net like 200. I said, the only way you're gonna net 200 is you put in the work. And he said he's gonna put in the work. He seems to have a little bit of experience with real estate. So he's a landlord. And he said he's gonna do the work. I think that's what he's gonna do, because that's the only way he can maybe walk away with 200. He's not gonna get that selling to another investor.
So what I like about what you said there is I find myself in that situation too, is you give the seller everything you've got. And if the best solution is not to sell to you, I still tell them, here's how you can get what you need. Rehab the property, or maybe you need to talk to an agent. I can refer you an agent. We can get it listed on the MLS. I like that even when you're not the buyer, I do the same thing. I still try to point them in the right direction they need to go, because not everybody I talk to needs me to be their solution. So I like how you did that. I also like how you brought the conversation down, not to the offer, but to the real money that the seller needs to take away. Because many times it's not about the money. You and I have spoke about this before, and I love how you said it's almost never about the money.
Hey, thanks for tuning in today. I do have a favor to ask. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay updated with more amazing stories and insights from REBallers. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next video. This episode is brought to you by Jet Lending. For over 20 years, Jet Lending has been helping real estate investors succeed. They offer 100% financing so you can be in at $0 at closing. I can always count on Jet Lending to fund my deals. If you're looking to fund your next deal, contact our friend over at jetlending.com.